Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor. I wanted to touch base on some issues and some things you need to be doing right now if you want to set yourself up for the rest of the year. Like right now, you should be buying all the items you can get for Halloween. Halloween, all the decorations, all the things you see sitting at those garage sales and the flea markets and all the places that you're hopping into, you know, thrift stores, the whole works, all those decorations, the vintage Halloween decorations, the blow mold pumpkins, and all of that stuff is popping up all over the place. I picked up a mess of it. I see it a lot. I'm probably going to do a video on Halloween stuff coming up this week too, just so you can see what to look for. It's not just decorations to sell for Halloween. So again, I'm going to address that real soon here because we've got Halloween stuff ourselves. But again, right now is what you need to be doing is buying for Halloween. You also need to be starting to list everything you can to be ready at the end of third quarter, September. So by September, you need to have all this stuff starting to go up and be ready because you're already going to be rolling into busy times if you're selling the right items in October, and then November, December, you're just out the door with stuff selling left and right. That's how this works for us. That's how it can work for you. If it's not, you need to set yourself up right. I've talked about through our summertime how we just list and list and list and list. Everybody's going to tell you this, that you need to have everything you have in your possessions up for the holidays, for fourth quarter. That's just a fact. The more stuff you have up, the sales go through the roof in many categories. You're going to sell a ton of stuff. But again, if you're waiting till September just to start to get this stuff up, you're already missing the start of fourth quarter. October, November, December is your fourth quarter. So, you know, that's what you need to be looking for. You know, and then you've got July, August, and September, your third quarter. And again, if you're not starting in July to get your stuff up, you know, you could be starting to get behind, depending on what your goals are and what your process is. For us, we have a ton of stuff, thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of items, maybe even 100,000 items sitting in here right now, ready to go up. And, you know, that's what we do. I just purchased a ton of stuff this week. I've got a ton of media type vintage media, which I'm going to actually do a detailed thing on as well, too. But you need to start getting the stuff in and start rolling it up online as quickly as you can. If you're a one-man operation and you've got 1,000 or better items to get up, or more than that even, and you're only listing 30 a day and still buying items, the math just doesn't work out for you to be able to get all of that stuff up to a reasonable time by the end of September at the very, very latest. Again, October, all the holidays and all the money-making time of the year starts the very first in October, or for us, in September, I do a little tick already in September. August can be a little tick for you too. Again, this all depends on what you sell, and if you're rotating and switching around your inventory for the right times of year, for, like, you know, back to school or whatever you're selling, that's what you need to look into. Like for us, we already purchased wholesale stuff in February. We were already looking for it in January, and people already beat us to the punch last year, 2017, in October for this 2018 December. So keep that in mind when people are buying stuff. They're looking ahead. Most businesses, toy stores and department stores buy their merchandise at least a year in advance, sometimes 2-3 years in advance, depending on what it is. They'll purchase or take a stake on a certain item, and that's why sometimes you see stuff that just doesn't do well, or stuff that goes off the roof and they can't keep it on the shelves, because these purchases in many cases were made well in advance. That's the retail, that's how retail works on that. So, you know, you've got to be looking ahead. Don't be looking month by month, and I'm getting through this month, and that's summer, and boom, 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 I'm just going to keep rolling that way. You're not projecting yourself right. You're not looking ahead to see what's going to happen in December. We set ourselves up. We start bombing it, as I said, as soon as the kids are out of school. We've got them all working here. I've got several coming in just a little while here within the hour to work today, taking photos and the whole works. It's early in the morning. We already went out. We went to the park. We went shopping. We dropped off recyclables. So, you know, I get up at 6 in the morning to do all this. And, you know, I kind of space it out. We look ahead for whatever I do. And I know this time of year, I want to work, you know, if it takes 12 hours, I'm just cramming that stuff up. So come October, if I don't need to be listing new items, I don't really have to worry about it, unless it's high dollar stuff that's coming in. And again, that's why I have a 90-day policy with what we hold in here. So if I get something in September 30th, it may not be listed till January 1st, depending on what it is. And again, we've got so much merchandise in here and so many items to sell and to list, it's not an issue. I could set my guys up, you know, weeks and weeks, a year probably, at the amount of stuff that we have in here without me buying anything new. And again, it's not a dead stock or a dead pile. That's back stock. That's just more stuff I can sell that I've got nothing into it. So that's why I switched selling away from clothing and the whole works. And again, I'm all thinking about fourth quarter right this minute. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for October for Halloween stuff going up now, right this minute, getting it up there so it's ready. It's in the sites. It's in people's faces right this minute. If you wait till September, people buy this stuff ahead of time. So you've got end of October is Halloween right now, as it always is. So end of October, Halloween, people are going to do stuff. They set stuff up. They set up parties. They set up events, sometimes September or even in August for Halloween. It's a huge event for people. They'll go all out. They'll buy costumes. Some people buy it throughout the year for Halloween. So, I sell Halloween stuff, pretty much any month, any day of the week. It doesn't matter the season, but I sell a heck of a lot more in October for Halloween, or in September is like probably the key month. The beginning of September is when I start to sell it. So you've got July and August to source all of your Halloween items and get them up by the 1st of September to already be pushing your sales for Halloween. I know a lot of people don't think of it that way. They just, whatever they come upon, that's what they get. I hunt down things. There's a source and a way to hunt down anything. I've got a degree research and communication. Somebody else, had commented on, that's what you're doing now. Yeah, it is in a way. So, it does help, that I have got some back sourcing information on it. But anybody can source down these items. There's a source and a location to find pretty much anything, no matter where you're at. You're just going to have to hunt around, whether it's searching outside the box and going to, liquidation sales, or business closing sales, or flea markets, antique malls, festivals, fairs, art shows. All these items all offer you the opportunity to find oddball different items. But again, October is what I'm looking for. Halloween right this minute. I'm going to be having Halloween postcards. I'm going to show you some of what I've gotten. My designs will be up probably next week. You'll get to see some of those. I'll give some postcards, probably a way of just my artwork postcards for those of you who are interested. If you're not, no hard feelings. My artwork is something different from everybody else. But again, that's what we're geared towards now. We've already got our Christmas stuff rolling, already purchased, already signed contracts, already, acquired some extra material and shelving for it. As I talked about before, we put some countertops on and some new shelving. That's to handle some of the Christmas. So again, looking ahead is what you need to be doing. Don't just be worrying about making it through July. Unless, you're going on the basis and you're new and you're just literally trying to live day by day. But, at some point you're going to realize that you need to be looking ahead. Do some projections. I've talked about this in many, many videos. Do projections so you know when stuff starts to pick up. And you can see that, in your sales by your area and department. eBay only gives you the ability to check the 2 top selling items versus last year's 2 top selling items, and that could have changed. We rotate our merchandise. We sell different things. One high dollar item can set that whole category off where that information is useless of what eBay has on it. So we have separate data that we use our own, that I've typed up, Excel sheets and stuff to look at that information. So I know when to get these up and know what to do and know to make sure that my fourth quarter is going to be the bomb like it should be for everybody. You should see, 60, 70% increase in sales for third and at the end of third quarter in September, and definitely for fourth quarter, unless you're doing something very wrong. If your sales don't go up at that point, you really need to be looking into what you're doing in your store or calling somebody else in to help, because, that's the time, as I said, for most people, many companies, 75% or higher increase in sales. That's most of where their business comes from. 75% or higher of their entire year's sales can come from the fourth quarter. Toy stores, video games, whatever it is, that's the case. People buy a ton more stuff for them. It's just a given. The market's spread out now too, so just keep that in mind. So keep an eye on what's going on ahead of time. Be looking at third, fourth quarter. Be looking at October for Halloween, your number 1 priority right this minute. Number 2, Christmas, Thanksgiving and the New Year's. All of that comes into play right off of this. Once you're busy, you may not have time to get all this stuff up. It may be too late in the season, as I've said, but hopefully that gives you some ideas and some things to look for. Again, Don the Auction Professor, please hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the video. You can hit the bell icon up top to be notified of new videos that I post. Subscribe and tell a friend.